Morning, Visordown campers. Here today we are going to do a first ride on this, which is the KTM Duke 790. Totally new bike, new engine, new everything. Still, they kept the orange paint because I don't know why, they like orange, don't they? It totally transformed my opinion of this bike because it is amazing round town. Just fantastic. I mean, the engine is the best part of it, you know, by a country mile. It's just punchy, strong, really good low down, and but it's got top end as well. And when we put it on the dyno, it was like 100 horsepower from a 799cc twin. So I mean, highly tuned, but you know, not at all freaky, not peaky, none of that nonsense. Just a fantastic engine. For the price, I think you're getting a lot of bike for your money. If you want to go a long distance on motorways, maybe not. But if you want to rule around town, like the urban king that you are, yes. It's a yes from the Scottish judge.
And as for the engine, well, firstly, MV is due hefty congratulations for making that potent powertrain Euro 4 compliant without losing any power. That's right, the 798cc unit makes exactly the same as its previous version. That's 140 horsepower and 64 pound-foot at 10,100 RPM. So to put that into perspective, from Euro 3 to Euro 4, MV had to reduce exhaust emissions by 56% and noise by 51%. And interestingly, the latter reduction was achieved by identifying and minimalising mechanical noise, so there's even a specially designed harmonic damping bolt in the cylinder heads. Lack of change most certainly doesn't mean lack of development. In fact, this unit is leagues ahead of its predecessor when it comes to refinement. Revised fuelling makes for incredibly fluid acceleration with a much smoother torque curve at lower revs than before, and a very linear power curve. It's so much more aggressive than the engine in the standard Brutale, making about 40% more power, thanks to revised cams and different throttle bodies with twin injectors. Whereas before, the front of the engine was mounted on one long bolt, which behaved sort of like a spring, it's now directly anchored to the steel trellis frame, acting as a stress member and improving torsional rigidity. An altered primary transmission and new gearbox leave the warranty issues of the previous model in the past, and the quick shifter is arguably one of the best I've used. Less force is required to shift gears, which is great for me because I'm notoriously light on the toe taps, and both upshifts and downblips are incredibly fast and smooth. Even shifting in corners doesn't phase the bike, and it's easy to become addicted to this quick shift function. Set it to sport mode and it picks up considerably. You'll really need to brace your feet against racy foot pegs and hold on for dear life if the front wheel threatens the top of the ground. And if you do want to get that front wheel up, switch to custom mode where a breadth of adjustability allows you to change just about anything, including traction control, gas sensitivity, torque, engine braking, rev limit and engine response. MV is aiming to be better than premium and it looks like they're nearly there, but only time will tell if the new Brutale will banish the breakdowns of its predecessor.
I'm in Barcelona. I've been riding this. If you paid any attention to the new bikes that have been shown this autumn, you'll know what it is because it was kind of one of the big head turners at the autumn shows. It's the Z900 RS Kawasaki. It's a kind of reimagining of the 1970s Z1. It's inspired by the 1970s Z1. Kawasaki's Z900RS must be one of the most talked about new motorcycles for 2018. It's been redesigned to the extent that you wouldn't recognise it, with styling inspired by the Z1 of the 1970s. We've been posting about it on Facebook and Twitter for a couple of days, and it seems you can't get enough of it. There's hardly a dissenting voice among the appreciative comments. You like this bike, evidently. Having spent a couple of days riding it at the launch in Barcelona, so do I. Let me tell you why. Engine. It's a 948cc inline-4 from the Z900, but detuned. Instead of 125 horsepower, it now makes a claimed 111 horsepower, while peak torque is down very slightly from 72.7 pound-foot to 72.6 pound-foot. It rewards taking corners in one gear higher than you might choose for optimum drive out of the turn. The initial throttle response is smoothed out, eliminating that jerk, and the low down torque means it still picks up quickly as the road straightens. There's a good top end too, as you would expect from an inline 4, as it surges linearly to its peak at 8,500 and beyond towards the 10,000 RPM red line. Verdict. As I said at the beginning, the Z900RS receives very high levels of approval in reader comments, and I can see why. The styling is exquisite. More than that, it faithfully reimagines a real bike that means something to many riders. If you're one of those riders to whom it evidently appeals, I have some good news. The Z900RS is as rewarding to ride as it is to look at.